Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me. And I'm back with a brand new What If. This is going to be part one of What If Tanjiro had one for all. It's actually been a while, about a month, since I've done a Demon Slayer What If. And I'm super excited for this one. And I hope all of y'all are ready for it. A quick little preference. As a lot of you know, I was actually in the hospital about a day ago, so I'm on some medicine right now, so I'm a little loopy and my talking might be a little funny, so I just want to preference that right off the rip before any of you comment like he sounds weird or like why is he talking like that. So if I talk any sort of way throughout this this what if, then you'll know why. But everything should be good. I'm feeling okay, but everything should be good in the next couple of days, but I wanted to get a video out for y'all, for the people, as soon as possible. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time, and we're going to get right into the what if. Let's get it. Throughout generations, a power was passed down from user to user. This power was the sole light in the darkness for the world. A power that someone who was worthy of would protect others without a care for themselves. The last user of this power was Izuku Midoriya, and it was said that he would be the last user of it. When he grew old, he decided to not pass down this power because it would harm the person more than actually help them. When he took his last breath, this power seemingly left his body, spiraling around and going through a portal. The power then flies through space and time, ending up entering a new universe, one that needed it far more than its original. The new wielder of the power, called One for All, now resided in a young boy by the name of Tanjiro Kamado. Oh, our baby is so cute. Yes, honey, he sure is. As the dad of Tanjiro says this, he coughs into his shirt. An orb of light falls slowly from the sky and dissolves into the baby's body. The parents look at the baby in basically shock. Honey, you know you don't have to go to the city in this weather. I know, Mom, but I want to give the family a good New Year's. His siblings then beg him to basically let him come with him, but since basically there's just too much snow, he says that they can't, but he will bring them back some goodies. He then says bye to Nezuko and the rest of his family and heads to the nearby town. When he arrives, he sells all his charcoal, but being so loved by the town, they all ask for further assistance. When finished, Tanjiro begins to basically head up the mountain, but an older man tells him that going at this time of night is not safe and that he should stay with him at least until morning. Tanjiro agrees, but asks why is the nighttime a dangerous time to travel, and the man basically explains that there are demons that lurk around the area that will eat humans. Tanjiro agrees, but is still skeptical of this statement. The night passes, and in the morning, Tanjiro thanks the old man and he heads up the mountain. When he gets close to his home, he begins to smell blood and begins to run at full speed to see all his family dead. He runs to his little sister Nezuko to see that she is still alive, but barely. He picks her up and begins to run to find help, but falls off the mountain, landing in the snow, luckily breaking his fall. His little sister Nezuko, though, began to attack him. Nezuko, what are you doing? As she attacks him, he puts his axe handle between her teeth to keep her away. Out of nowhere, a man with insane speeds tries to slice her head off with a sword, but it misses because Tanjiro rolls Nezuko over to dodge it. Please, what are you doing? That is my sister. Kid, what are you on about? She is no longer your sister. She's a demon. In a blink of an eye, the man grabs the girl. If you want to protect her, kid, then take her back from me. As the man says this, he puts his blade to her neck. If you want to save her, you will stop begging. And this world is not forgiving. Tanjiro stands up and begins to run straight at the man. The man begins to think that his kid isn't ready for this world, but lightning seemingly revolves around him, and he basically has this green lightning, and the speed makes it hard to be seen as he moves side to side. He then takes a punch at the man, who barely dodges, basically holding his sister. The man barely dodges Tanjiro and basically just behind him sends a blast so strong that it basically just destroys and sends flying all the trees back behind him. He knocks Tanjiro out, and as he does so, Nezuko kicks him away, getting in a pose seemingly to protect her brother. Tanjiro wakes up to see his sister beside him, and the man reveals who he is. My name is Giyu Tomioka, and I am part of what people call the Demon Slayers. And if you want to save your sister, then you will become one as well. Go to the mountains, and my old master will be waiting for you. Also, put your arm in a sling, because whatever you did broke it. Tanjiro looked at Tomioka in shock, telling him that he has no idea what he's talking about. Tomioka responds, saying that he doesn't know either, but the power he wields is far beyond the normal human's power. Tomioka then leaves, and Tanjiro takes Nezuko to a nearby house to get a basket for her to hide her from the sunlight, as requested of Tomioka. He then heads up the mountain at night and begins to fall. As night begins to fall, and he comes across a demon eating people. Then the temple demon then speaks. Get out of here, kid. These are my humans to eat. Tanjiro stands in shock, and the demon turns, realizing that Tanjiro is no demon, but a human. He charges at him, knocking him away. Nezuko then jumps out of her basket and kicks the demon off of Tanjiro, and then the demon attempts to attack Nezuko. Stay away from my sister, you stupid demon! Tanjiro then hits the demon and launches him, but somehow he doesn't break his arm this time. The demon is then gone, out of sight from the hit alone. Kid, did you just do that? Tanjiro turns to see Urokodaki, saying, I guess I did do that. As he says this, he passes out and is carried to Urokodaki's home. Tanjiro Kamado. So you are the 10th user of One for All. I swore that green-haired boy would be the last. Tanjiro tries to talk to the man with the white hair, but his mouth was covered in a weird mist. Sorry, kid, but you can't talk here. But I want to explain to you this power you've been experiencing. The man with the white hair explains that Tanjiro has a power called One for All, and it's not from this world, but it gives him insane strength and speed. But if Tanjiro is not careful, his limbs will be destroyed, and that this power was dormant until now. Tanjiro tries to get him to explain more, but the first user tells him that there isn't much time right now, but he will be back soon, and many others will want to speak with him as well. Tanjiro wakes up in shock, and his body is covered in green lightning, and he's sweating like crazy. Are you okay, kid? Yeah, I think so. Urokodaki explains to him the situation, and that he will be training him to become a demon slayer. Tanjiro agrees and tells him about this power that he has called One for All. Urokodaki then tells him that over this time they will find a way for him to control this power on top of the training he will be put through to use a technique called water breathing. Tanjiro then trains with Urokodaki, initially running through a mountain with booby traps that allows for him to basically use his increased sense of smell to increase his reaction time and awareness. On top of that, Urokodaki taught Tanjiro the way of water breathing, learning all 10 forms, and Urokodaki also taught him how to control One for All, a little bit like basically relating it to the 10th form, in which you strike with a constant flux, giving them the idea of having Tanjiro try and focus his power throughout his whole body, but with restrictors on himself, allowing him to use a percentage of the power currently being at 8%. Tanjiro, you have come a long way, but I have one last challenge for you, before you can truly go and become a demon slayer. He takes Tanjiro to the top of the mountain, showing him this large boulder, telling him that he must slice the boulder in half if he wants to go to the final selection. He then charges 8% of One for All within his body, and when he does so, he slices through the boulder with extreme precision, cutting it in half, and the shockwave alone shatters it. Well, Tanjiro, you did as I asked, and I know you are ready for the final selection, but I still feel like getting used to this extraordinary power you have should be of great interest to you. I agree. I will take the next 6 months in an effort to truly understand this power. Urokodaki agrees, and Tanjiro trains on his lonesome by himself until a girl and a boy show up. They introduce themselves as Makomo and Sabito, fellow demon slayers that want to help him train. For the next 6 months, he's trained with Sabito, allowing for his swordsmanship to be even better than before, and also increasing his output of one for all to 15%. He also found that when he combines one for all with his water breathing, it allows for him to increase his speed and strength by so much more. So for 1 month, he tries to maintain both the breathing and one for all for long periods of time at the same time. Not being able to use it constantly, but can maintain his breathing and that one for all for up to 8 hours a day if he uses it, well, constantly. He thanks Sabito and Makomo for the help, and the last day before leaving the final selection, Urokodaki made him delicious food, as well as he writes in his notebook about Nezuko and that he will find a cure to her becoming human once again. The next morning, Tanjiro sets off and thanks Urokodaki and tells him to say thank you again to both Makomo and Sabito, in which his eyes grow wide and he begins to shed a tear, thinking that even in the afterlife, they both are helping the demon slayers of the future. Tanjiro then arrives in an area with beautiful blossom trees, and two girls approach and begin to speak, explaining that in the final selection, they will need to survive a week within this demon-filled forest, and if they manage to do so, they will be allowed to join the Demon Slayer Corps. All the future Demon Slayers then enter the forest, and Tanjiro begins to fight demons that try and ambush him, which using only 5% of one for all to conserve his stamina. He then dodges with ease. He pins one down to the ground and begins to question it. Look, all I want to know is if I can turn a demon back into a human. The demon gave no response and continued to try and attack him like a wild animal that hasn't eaten in days. He kills the demon and realizes that all these demons will not know or won't even say a word about knowing how to change one back into a human. He heads through the forest and begins to hear loud footsteps followed by screaming. He then runs towards it to see the hand demon chasing a kid. Please help! I need help! Tanjiro quickly grabs the kid, getting him out of harm's way, using one for all and staring at the demon. That mask! You're the one of Urokodaki's brats! Now that is interesting. The fact that you think you can beat me when that kid with the scar couldn't even do so. Tanjiro then looks at the hand demon in shock, thinking that those two weren't even alive, and this demon did it. Tanjiro charges one for all up to 15% and begins dodging all the attacks from the hand demon until from his blind side he's about to be hit, but then he begins to feel a mild headache in the left side of his head, and then he dodges without even being able to see the punch coming. Tanjiro then using water breathing, second form, water wheel, he slices the demon's head off. The demon then begins to cry and Tanjiro looks into its eyes. You've done horrible things, but I will never wish the worst for you, so I hope God forgives you for your sins. May the afterlife treat you well. The demon then disappears, and Tanjiro for the next week goes around trying to help people, but when he arrives at the end of the final selection, he notices that very few people still remain. The two little girls approach and begin to congratulate them until a boy walks up to one of them, grabbing one in the head. Just give me my sword and we'll be done with this. Tanjiro walks over, telling the boy to let go of her, and when he refuses, Tanjiro breaks the kid's arm, and he lets go, staring at Tanjiro, but then walks away. The two proctors then explain what is going to happen, and they reveal the ores for their swords. Tanjiro, using his sense of smell, quickly picks his ore and then races down the mountain. When he arrives down the mountain, the sun is now mostly set, and he sees something that makes him tear up. His sister Nezuko, now awake. He runs to her, hugging her. "Nezuko, you're awake. I thought you were never gonna wake up. I'm so happy." Urokodaki then comes toward them, joining in a hug and inviting Tanjiro back into his home. He tells Tanjiro that today he needs to rest, but tomorrow he should get his brand new Nichirin sword. Tanjiro then sleeps and he enters his mindscape. A man walks up to Tanjiro with a scar on his face. "Sup, kid? I'm here because you gained my power not too long ago. It's called Danger Sense. You're smart, I'm sure you can figure out how it works, but just be ready for many other quirks to come, young Tanjiro, and use this power to protect the ones you love." Tanjiro wakes up in a gasp, and Urokodaki asks if he's okay. Tanjiro explains the vision he had, and Urokodaki stands in shock that Tanjiro will have even more powers than just his speed and strength enhancement. "Tanjiro, I must also tell you something as well." Tanjiro continues to listen, and Urokodaki explains to him that the demon that made his sister into a demon is known as Muzan Kibusuji, and that he is the strongest among them all, and that many other demons with powers called demon arts are out there. So be ready for anything. But if anyone would know how to cure his sister, that it would be Muzan himself. The weaponsmith then arrives with Tanjiro's sword, and when he touches it, the sword turns black, with green electricity revolving around it. The weaponsmith is in shock that the sword is black, but mostly that the green lightning is revolving around it. It is explained that the black sword means bad fortune, but that the lightning, he has no clue. Tanjiro then gets a box from Urokodaki and brings Nezuko along with him. He says goodbye, and crows begin to tell him to head to the nearby town, because girls are actually going missing within it. He arrives and he sees a man yelling at someone. "You idiot! You had one job, keep my daughter safe, and you couldn't even do that? I'm sorry, I really tried to protect her." Tanjiro then dashes in and gets the man to stop beating on the other while laying on the ground. Tanjiro then begins talking to the man. "What's your name?" "It's Kazumi." "Okay, I need you to tell me all that happened when your wife disappeared." "Well, we were walking around in the town at night, and then out of nowhere I look to my side and she's gone." "Okay, sir. Thank you." Tanjiro then begins a search all around the town, trying to catch a whiff of the demon. Nighttime then strikes, and he gets a faint whiff of it, and then it basically goes away, leaving just a small remnant of what the demon smell was. Tanjiro then smells the demon once again, as the demon comes out of a portal underneath the ground. "What are you doing here, little demon slayer? Here to die?" "No, but I have some questions. I need to know if you can change a demon back into a human." "Well, why would I tell you that? I get nothing out of it." "Okay, well, how about this? Where is Muzan?" The demon freezes for a second, and Tanjiro can tell that he will not be saying a word. Using 15% of One for All and total concentration breathing, he dashes in and slices his head off. The demon then looks at him in shock that he could be so fast, and he wasn't even one of the stronger demon slayers, he's just some novice. "I'm sorry, but you refuse to tell me anything, and I can't allow you to kill or continue to kill anyone else, but I hope that the afterlife treats you with forgiveness." Tanjiro approaches Kazumi, telling him that he is sorry that he couldn't save his wife, but that he must live his life to what she would have wanted him to. He thanks him, and then Tanjiro leaves. His crow begins saying that a demon has been spotted in a city nearby, so Tanjiro heads over to the location. When he arrives, he begins to eat some food until he begins to smell something so foul he could not ignore. That smell, it's him. Tanjiro begins to run at full speed until he arrives at a man. Tanjiro grabs his shoulder, and when he turns around, he has a family, one kid and a wife. Kid, what do you need? Tanjiro stands in shock at what Muzan looks like, and not only that he is blending in with a human family. Muzan begins to walk away, and Tanjiro calls out to him. Muzan, I will kill you for what you did to my sister and my family. And I know it's you. And wherever you go, you can't hide from me. Muzan continues to walk, but his face begins to scowl at the audacity of this kid. But he can sense that he has powers of 9 other people somehow within him, but he's not like he's some demon. Tanjiro then heads back to Nezuko, apologizing for leaving her alone, until a young boy approaches him. Hello, you're Tanjiro, correct? You need to come with me. Tanjiro then smells the boy that approached him, smelling that he's a demon himself. Tanjiro stares in confusion. But you're a demon. I'm not here to hurt you. Please, just follow me. Tanjiro does so, and they enter through a wall and enter a house with a beautiful lady by the name of Tamaya. She explains that she is a demon who does not feast on humans to survive, and that she lives on small amounts of blood that is donated. Tanjiro then asks her a question. Do you think there's a way to change back my sister back into a human? She responds, telling him that there is no current way she knows, but that is possible. She just needs blood from the strongest demons to make it possible, known as the 12 Kizuki. She tells him that if he can do that, she should be able to find a cure. He's about to respond when a ball comes flying through the house, about to hit Lady Tamaya right in the face. Before this, though, his danger sense began to go off, and he was able to punch the ball, shattering it with 15% of One For All. He then walks outside to see the demon. Danger sense, though, tells him basically that there are 2 demons, one in front of him and one in a nearby tree. He then acts like he's dashing at the female demon in front of him, but redirects himself to the one hiding in the tree, kicking him out of it, and in an instant cutting his head off. How? What? How did you kill him so fast? The female demon begins to panic, pleading for her life. That is horrible. You came here to take my life, and now you're pleading for your own? Fine. If you take me to Muzan, I will spare your life. The demon is in complete shock and responds. She is completely shaking, and his name accidentally slips out of her mouth. You want Muzan? Her body then begins to explode into pieces, and she dies without Tanjiro even touching her. Is this truly the power of Muzan? Tanjiro says this with a tight grip on his sword. And that is the end of part 1 of this What If. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Also check out any links that I left in the description. And again, I'm sorry if I had any little mess ups here and there throughout the video. As you can tell, I do sound like a little congested right now. And also I'm on some medication, so I'm a little like loopy. But I really hope y'all enjoyed, because this has actually been really fun to make so far, and I can't wait to actually come out with the finale, because this should just be a quick little 2-parter. And if you want more Demon Slayer what ifs, let me know in the comment section below, because I know right when season 2 comes out, we're going to be going crazy with those what ifs, and that's a promise. So if you enjoy them, let me know and we'll keep them up. And don't worry, for the people that love the My Hero Academia what ifs, that will be coming as well. We've still got those series going on. So don't worry at all about that. And I plan to actually expand into Naruto as well, bring that back to the channel. But yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to comment down below any future suggestions. Demon Slayer, My Hero, Naruto, anything. And also, don't forget to leave any suggestions for maybe this what if. If I see it soon enough, I might add it to the next part, or also the finale, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's about it. And I hope everyone has an amazing day. Later.